Simon of Cyrene, a man from a distant land, found himself an unwilling participant in a momentous event. A visitor to Jerusalem for the Passover feast, he could never have imagined the encounter that awaited him. As he entered the city gates, his heart filled with anticipation for the holy celebration, he was oblivious to the drama unfolding on the cobblestone streets. History tells us very little about Simon's background. We know he was an African hailing from Cyrene, a city in modern-day Libya. Scripture tells us he was the father of Alexander and Rufus, men who would later be known to the early Christian community in Rome. Whatever his reasons for being in Jerusalem, Simon's life was about to intersect with destiny in a way he could never have foreseen. As he made his way through the crowded streets, he encountered a procession unlike any he had ever witnessed. Roman soldiers, their faces hardened by years of battle, pushed their way through the throng. Their centurion barked orders, his voice laced with authority and disdain. A man, bloodied and beaten beyond recognition, struggled beneath the weight of a rough-hewn cross. This was Jesus of Nazareth, condemned to death by crucifixion, and Simon, caught in the crosshairs of history, was about to play an extraordinary role in the unfolding drama. The Roman soldiers, their patience worn thin by the slow procession and the jeering crowds, scanned the faces of the onlookers. Their eyes fell upon Simon, a strong, sturdy man who had likely traveled far. Without hesitation, they seized him. Rough hands tore the cross from Jesus' wounded shoulders and thrust it upon Simon's. The weight of the timber, rough and heavy, pressed down on Simon's shoulder. He could feel the weight of the crowd's scorn, the weight of the soldiers' brutality, the weight of the injustice being perpetrated against this innocent man. As he stumbled forward, forced to keep pace with the procession, Simon found himself face to face with suffering in its rawest form. He looked at Jesus, at the blood matted in his hair, at the labored breath escaping his lips, at the sheer exhaustion etched on his face. And in that moment, something shifted within Simon. As Simon walked the path to Golgotha, he walked alongside Jesus in his suffering. Each step was a reminder of the injustice, the cruelty, the brokenness of the world. Yet there was something else too, a strange sense of purpose, of unexpected privilege. For in that shared journey, in that shared burden, Simon glimpsed the heart of God. He saw the love that refused to let go, even in the face of unimaginable pain. He saw the strength that bore the weight of the world's sin without complaint. He saw the humility that walked willingly towards death for the sake of others. Simon, the unwilling participant, became a participant in something much larger than himself. The walk to Golgotha was not long, but for Simon, it was a lifetime. In those agonizing steps, he encountered the divine in a way he could never have anticipated. The experience, though born of coercion, planted seeds of faith in his heart. Did Simon in that moment fully comprehend the significance of what he was witnessing? Perhaps not entirely. But something profound shifted within him. The seeds of faith, sown in the midst of suffering, continued to grow. Simon's story is a powerful reminder that God can use even the most unexpected events to draw us closer to Him. Simon did not choose to carry the cross. He was compelled, forced into a situation he would have rather avoided. And yet, in that moment of unwilling obedience, he encountered the divine. Simon's legacy is not one of fame or earthly recognition. His is a legacy of quiet faithfulness, of finding God in the midst of suffering, of allowing a single act of compassion to forever alter the course of his life. We may never be asked to carry a literal cross as Simon did, but we all have crosses to bear. Moments of pain, loss, disappointment, injustice. Times when we are asked to walk alongside those who are hurting, to share in their burdens, to offer a hand of compassion in a world often filled with darkness. Simon's story teaches us that it is in these moments, in these acts of love and service, that we truly encounter the heart of God. For it is in these acts of love, these moments of shared suffering, that we discover the true meaning of discipleship and experience the transformative power of God's grace.